Hey, what's up, guys? We're in Orient Point, Long Island. This is the most northeastern home you can find on Long Island. This is as far as it goes. You see behind me, this house is gorgeous. Currently, there's a cedar shingle roof on it. It's a natural wood roof. We're gonna be replacing it with a synthetic. It's like a recycled plastic, and there's a lot of benefits to this. One of the coolest parts of this roof that I love the most is the coloring process and how it doesn't fade. This is the only product that you can put on your house that will not fade over time, ever. This coloring is not made from a synthetic dye like every other product. This is actually made from minerals from the earth, like charcoal and clay and stuff like that. So it's already weathered to the elements, right? It's already as faded as it can possibly get. You know, you don't have to maintenance this stuff. With the natural wood roofs, you know, you gotta clean it, you gotta wash it, you gotta make sure the mold don't grow on it, make sure the leaves don't stay on it because it holds moisture, right? Another thing I like is that the longevity of these two products are so different. Cedar shingle usually only lasts between 10 to 15 years, depending on how good you take care of it. Something like this can last up to 50 years, right? There's 50-year warranties on this stuff. I mean, nobody likes cedar shingle roofs more than we do. I love the natural stuff, but at the end of the day, these are just some of the benefits that have to be compared and thought about when you're changing a roof. So we're here doing a walkthrough. Mike is the operations guru. He sees things that I don't see. So we always come out and we walk jobs like this, make sure that we have all our ducks in a row and all our bases covered when it comes to the operational side of things. So let's take a walk around and see what he sees. What do we see here? I like this lower roof because it allows them to like stay in there and work easier so they're not off the scaffolds. All right, and then you've seen the attic. We're gonna have a lot of debris falling in the attic because it's just open to the attic when you have cedar shingle. So Mike was in the attic earlier coming up with a plan to make sure that we cover everything and it's important up there. You got HVAC units up there, you got expensive stuff up there. He was saying there's some old antiques, some chairs and stuff, so we got to take all that into account. We're doing a roof like this. We can't just rip the roof off and start working. Like, there's a lot to think about. You know, these houses, they're not like, you know, the stuff inside costs a lot of money too, so you got to make sure everything's protected. All right, so let's talk about the placement of things. Where are we going to put everything so that the driveways can stay in use, that we don't interrupt the flow here?
I think we can do a container here. The good thing about these half circle driveways is you just take the side that doesn't have the garage doors on it. We can back our 40 yard, which we're probably gonna need 2 of them. We'll have one extra one on deck and we'll do a swap.
Yeah.
But we could bring the 40-yard container straight back here. This way cars can come in and out of the garage, cars can park up here, bring kids inside and back straight out. They'll still have full access to the garage.
Yeah, I even like, we can back it up tight here so everything can go right in, like right from this roof.
Yeah, we'll get this as far back as we can.
Like tight to up here.
Maybe hang a tarp like you're saying, fasten the tarp down from here and then like a chute, it'll go right in there. And we could do that up here too. Down here at the valley, we could throw the cedar right over the top, have a couple plywood boards down here, come right off the 2nd story and right into the dumpster. So if we can get it right here, that would be perfect.
So you're saying like build a chute?
Yeah, for sure. We've done that a couple of times. It makes the cleanup so much easier.
It was me, it's gonna go on the floor then in the dumpster. That's why he's here.
Why pick it up twice?
Look at this.
Right, isn't it incredible?
Check this out right here. I didn't notice this. Look how much this deteriorates. You see how thin the shingle is? Look at this. It's like not even 1/4 of an inch. It's probably 3/16 now. I mean, those lost half its thickness. I think this roof is 14 years old. See the thickness difference?
These synthetics are molded from real shingles. So this roof at one point started out that thick. And over the years being so close to the ocean, being whipped by salty wind, it's deteriorated.
And if you go in the attic and you look up, Mike was saying that he's seeing some daylight coming through already.
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple spots up in the attic where you can just see the sky. It's incredible. This is the way of the future. So are we doing anything with the lead-coated copper chimney flashings?
I think the other chimney was lead-coated, or is it all copper?
It might just all be.
Either way, all the metals are getting changed.
All the metals are getting changed?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
The only way to do it. What do you think?
I think this is just, it's a very standard cedar job in a very, very beautiful area. There's really...
Hey, what about these railings?
The railings are easy enough, detach and reset. Look at all the barriers they've had repaired already. They just threw plywood on top of it and a bunch of silicone.
That's another thing. It's hard to repair the natural stuff. It's really, really brittle. Like you could almost break it with your hands, right? So picture trying to repair a couple shingles in an area, right? You're gonna break a lot of other shingles around just to get new shingles in there. Stuff like this, it doesn't fade. You never have to make repairs. So a lot of benefits to it. Any other concerns, anything you see here that we should address now, or you got this?
Yeah, I mean, it's just more of the same stuff from the front of the house. We've got the cedar siding is coming straight down onto the cedar roof. We're just gonna have to do some trim work and under the window there, cut it back because we're gonna add a 1/2 inch board of plywood underneath it.
So you're saying the roof is gonna be thicker, because where it meets the house, we're gonna have to address that. Like we're gonna have to raise up the siding or something.
Exactly.
All right, well, seems like that about wraps it up. We'll see you guys on installation day. All right, so we're back here in Orient Point. We're about halfway completed with this job, and we're gonna do a quick walk around. Me and my main man, Mike, just always like to come through, check in on things, make sure the crew has everything they need to finish up and get us paid. There is a couple of issues that Mike's gonna go over with you operationally, so let's take a walk around and check those out. So this is like our staging area that Mike set up here. We got our rake machine that spends all the custom copper metal that we need for the chimneys and the flashings and all that. Material trailer. Under here, we have all our plywood protected from the rain and the moisture for the whole job. Copper. All the materials stacked nicely up over here. All right, so we haven't started the garage yet, right? So we've been working on the main house first. Thing is, like, you can't rip off too much roof at once because, you know, there's rain in between these jobs. They go on a week, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks sometimes. So if it rains in between, everything's got to stay waterproof at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. You only rip what you can complete.
Yeah. So it says it's going to rain for the next 2 weeks, but if you listen to the weatherman, you'll never do anything. So,
dude, look at the weather vane.
I know.
You got a gargoyle and gold trim as a weather vane. That's sick.
So how did it work out on the areas that were plywood with this trim? Do we have to make a custom trim?
Yeah, so on the eve edge, we're able to use the F5, so everything drops into the gutter, no problem. But on the edges, since we wanted to keep the nice crown molding, we made a custom drip edge that comes down to the end cap before it starts bending in.
So what Mike's talking about is that on that edge there, where the shingles are overhanging, we actually had to install plywood on top of what was there to be able to install this roof. So what that does is it lifts everything up. You know, once we install plywood there, you would have seen like a raw plywood edge. So we have to custom make a drip edge that kind of covers it and hides it a little bit. And one of my favorite little details that kind of goes unnoticed a lot on a project like this is like the copper pipe boots, the pipe flanges. I love the way they look. You can see under the window, some of the tiles look a little funky. You know, this stuff, sometimes it takes a while for like the sun to hit it, for it to like lay down flat and look nice. So sometimes homeowners complain when we're done, like, hey, why are these shingles lifted up over here? Well, you give it a couple weeks in the sun, everything lays down nice and flat. It looks like where the roof's meeting the house came out really, really well. Yeah. But that's most of the area where the shingles are lifting up a little bit. Yep. So we might have to address that a little bit more than usual, maybe.
It looks like they've got 2 courses. I'm gonna get up on the roof and take a look at that. I really want to show, like, sitting on the valley, I think it's a cool angle. So if you guys watched part 1 of this video about the walkthrough, one of the things we were really concerned about was the thickness of the new roof and how it meets the cedar siding. We have to add a layer of plywood, and these synthetic shakes are a lot thicker than normal cedar shingle. So we talked about how we might have to cut the siding, and upon inspection, I love what I'm seeing. I just had to come show you guys. If you come and you look at this corner, you'll see each siding tile has been cut so that it fits snugly against the roofing tile. I mean, look at that. That's real craftsmanship. I'm really proud of the guys on this one.
So, Mike, operationally, how are we looking on this job? Are we on target for completion? Any issues we need to deal with right now? I need to know about?
We're actually ahead of target completion date. The guys are moving really fast. We have a lot of rain coming up, so as far as working days go, we're ahead of schedule. The only issue that we're running into is we're running short on solids right now.
Solids?
Yeah. Solids. We have plenty of shakes, but the solids are, I think we're going to wind up being short on.
Do we know how short we're going to be yet?
About 100 pieces.
100 pieces.
Yeah.
All right, so what Mike's saying is that we're short on a certain part of material, Usually if we order the material, we like to over order and make sure we're not running around for stuff. But in this particular scenario, the homeowner owns his own material supply yard for masonry and stuff. So he was able to buy direct from the manufacturer himself and save a couple bucks. But because he did that, you know, he doesn't have the experience we have when ordering material for a roof like this. So for instance, you have two types of shingles here. You have one with a hollow back, right? You can see it's like a honeycomb hollow shingle, right? And then you have one that's completely solid all the way through. All right, so the reason we need the hollows and the solids is because when we have a cut valley like this, and we have to cut the shingle on an angle, if we cut the hollow one, on the edge, you would see right into the edge. It's like a honeycomb, right? That's why we need the solid. So when you cut the solid, obviously you have a solid edge going all the way up. Also, on this edge here, right? So some of these shingles don't always end up perfectly to the width, right? So we'll have to shave them down. If we shave down a hollow one on the edge here, it would be all hollow looking inside. So on the edges and in the valleys, we need the solids. It's kind of hard to place an accurate order for the solids. That's why when we order for a job, we always over order everything and then return what we don't use. But in this case, like I said, the homeowner wanted to order the material. So now we have this issue to deal with. So we got to go get a material count on everything and see exactly what we're missing, talk with the homeowner, talk with the supplier. And I know a couple of people over there, so maybe we can push some things through. But we'll see how it works out. This fly's open. Did you get that?
3 points of performance at all times.
All right, let's finish the walk around. So besides the material issue, how's everything else going over here?
Everything else is going good.
No problem?
No issues.
Wow.
Getting the siding cut. We got the
No problems. That's what we like.
I know, right? We got the roof under the deck. The deck came up okay.
I'm really impressed with how they met the shingles to the siding like you were just talking about. Guys did a really sick job at that. Sometimes we have to take the siding off and put new siding in there to cut it right, but it worked out really well here.
Well,
see this monster dumpster? Look at this.
Land Resource gives us all of our containers. They're a fantastic company. You call them today, they deliver this afternoon. They're absolutely amazing. I recommend anybody on Long Island to give them a call if they ever need a roll-off.
Man,
This thing is huge. It's like a 40-yard.
this is the second container we had here. So the last one, obviously, we filled it all the way up. But we still got a lot to do. We still got to rip the whole garage like we talked about. All the scraps on the roof that you've seen. All right, I think that about wraps it up for our mid-job walkthrough. See you guys on the finish.
Gotta aim for the top like pain. All of those dark nights I got them breaking my back to make it out. Got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help. I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son. I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up. Whole team with me. But known for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babble if they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this and you're in your element with a fire like this. And they hoping you fall and they praying you miss. But it's all in the risk. God got you with the switch. You